Hey, what's up, y'all? Steve Rep Alvin Brown here, and welcome to Around Town with Alvin Brown. We are in Center City right now for a special edition of Around Town with Alvin Brown with the one and only, our Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis. My man, what's
Thanks,
up,
bro.
How
Thanks
you?
for having me. It's great to be with you today.
Yeah, man. Listen, no, it's an honor to be with you. You were one of the first elected officials that I had a conversation with when I joined the legislature. Because I was doing some research when I got elected to see who was like most relatable to the people, especially to my community. And you were that guy. And I remember uh, you had got a grant for your district for like development. It was like $300,000, and I called you. I was like, "Yo, how do I do this for my community?" You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I was like, "How do I do this for my community?" And then that's when we hit it off from there. So hey man, tell the people who is Austin Davis?
Well, so it's so funny. I remember when you came to the legislature because we have very similar backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us grew up in lower income communities, working class families, and really got involved because of gun violence in our neighborhoods. And so that's what spurred me to get involved when I was 16 years old. There was an incident of gun violence on my street, and it spurred me to take action. And that's been the single issue that I've worked on throughout my entire career, from when I was in the legislature with you, starting the first ever violence intervention grant dollars, to now as lieutenant governor chairing PCCD. When I first ran for office, my parents, I'm the proud son of a union bus driver and a hairdresser. My dad's literally driving a Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus today. And I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless, for folks who don't often see themselves in the halls of power, and to give those folks a voice. And so I'm proud that I did it in my district as a state rep, but now I'm doing it all across Pennsylvania, from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh to Erie to Reading and everywhere in between.
And so when I be checking out your social, I'm like, dang, he's literally all over the place. They used to do like a around the Commonwealth with Austin Davis.
It's crazy because this job, just today, I'll take today. I woke up in Pittsburgh this morning, hopped on a plane to get here, got to Philly. I'm here for the morning, leaving, going to Harrisburg, ending my day back in Pittsburgh by about 6 o'clock tonight. And so when you represent the entire Commonwealth, people, as you know, as a good elected official, people want you to see you. They want you to show up in their neighborhood. They want to touch and feel you. And so that's what I strive to do. That's what the governor does every single day. And so we're all gas, no brakes. And it's been like that for 3 years.
And well, I will say that you grinding. So we're gonna jump right into it. Why are you here right now in Philadelphia?
Well, we're here right now because we have an important election coming up on November 4th. But we have an important voter registration date coming up on October 20th. It's the last day to register to vote here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So I'm going to be rallying and meeting with the city commissioners later this morning, encouraging folks to either go to the city commissioner's office, go to their state representative or their senator's office if they're not registered, to get registered to vote, to update their registration, and make sure they get out to vote on or before November 4th. We have a critical election. You know this. There's no such thing as an off-year election. We have court races this year for Pennsylvania Supreme Court, for Superior Court, Commonwealth Court, and Court of Common Pleas here in Philly. And as you know, somebody who has advocated on behalf of criminal justice reform, judges have a outsized impact on people's lives. And we make sure we elect the right people who are going to stand up for our values.
Yes, we need y'all to vote yes.
Yes.
Right? Vote yes for retaining our 3 Supreme Court judges. And they will be on the show very soon. We got them coming. We got them coming through.
Donahue, Doherty, and Weck have done a phenomenal job in making sure they're protecting folks' voting rights, access to the polls, protecting a woman's right to choose. We need justice. We're going to stand up for our basic fundamental rights and freedom. And we've seen at the federal level what happens when you allow extremists to take over a court and they ram an agenda through. We don't want Pennsylvania courts to be like the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah, man. So in my community, like I'm very in tune, in touch with the folks who get ignored, right? Who have been ignored prior to me getting in, right? And so our team, like even where we strategically place our offices, where we promote our state and government services, we pride ourselves for being very accessible, being consistent, and being present.
Yep.
And being authentic. And those things, that's the new elected official.
Yep.
So what we seem to have done is we're changing what it is to be a government official.
And you're changing the expectations for elected officials.
Yes. And so, like, even though the job description does not say, make sure families' refrigerators are full physically, we vote on budgets and invoices and all that kind of stuff to make sure families are fed or whatever. But there's always going to be that population of communities or individuals who just need that extra push and need that access. So we've been doing that through and through partnerships with you guys' administration, the Shapiro Davis administration, with our phenomenal leadership, making sure that we have the resources to keep things moving done, and our local partners, whether it's nonprofits or LLCs, companies, people that are coming through supporting the folks in need. So give us what it's like to be born and raised in Pittsburgh and now being the lieutenant governor.
One of the things.
So when people see you,
are
they like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some people, what's interesting about it is I'm still that same guy that grew up in McKeesport. My mom and dad still live in McKeesport. I live 10 minutes away from where I grew up, and I'm raising my daughter in the same community that I grew up with my wife. And so people see me in the neighborhood, or they'll see me at a store, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" Like, people come up to me in the grocery store all the time. And they're like, "Wait, you do your own grocery shopping?" I'm like, when I got this job, nobody showed up in my house and said that they were going to do the grocery shopping or take the garbage out for me. And so, but part of that, I think, is staying grounded to the people that we're here to represent, right? To your point, the role of an elected official is whatever the people who elected you decide that it should be. And ultimately, our job is to get stuff done for them. And, I think every elected official has to recognize we have an enormous amount of power as it relates to the average citizen. So if you don't have a direct influence of what somebody's asking you, you can connect them to somebody who can solve their problem or influence them.
Very true. And I don't know, I'm sure you probably would agree. All the elected officials I know, they ran on survey.
Yes.
Right? They didn't say how or
right.
So where I'm from, I have constituents that say, "No, I voted for you in West Philly. That's why I better see you."
Yeah.
I don't care that you be in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
I better see you in the hood. I better see you in our neighborhood. So when I'm walking my dog, and they're like, "Oh, wow, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I better see you."
Yeah.
But people want to be able to, be able to touch you.
Yeah, they want that connection. And the reality is, I tell everybody, best advice I got when I became a state rep was from Ed Gamey, who is now the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
He said, "Look, nobody votes for you in Harrisburg. They vote for you in your district. So come to Harrisburg, do what you got to do, look for your people, and then go back to your community
and serve."
Yeah, and serve. Which is why, as lieutenant governor, I'm never tied down to a desk. You will rarely, if you show up to my office and you're looking to see me, you will most likely not see me because I am out in the Commonwealth. I'm in our community. I'm serving every day because that's what you elected me to do. You didn't elect me to hide in an office, to be behind walls, and to not be accessible. You elected me to be out there forward facing. And that's the same thing the governor does when he does press events every day, where he's all over the Commonwealth. People expect you to show up. They expect you to solve their problem. They may not expect you to do everything for them, but they expect to know that you're working for them.
And I think there's no better feeling in the world than a constituent, especially one that knows you and know where your heart is, when they see you in the market.
Yep.
And then later that day on the 6 o'clock news, they see you
Yep.
announcing something, especially the gun violence stuff. It's like, oh my God, I saw him earlier, I gave him a hug or had a conversation with that person. My constituents come up to me all the time and say that. You get that same response?
Oh, I get it all the time, no matter where I'm at. And now as lieutenant governor, it took me a while to realize that people that I may not recognize, that somebody recognizes me. Right. That like, and it usually sometimes doesn't happen as somebody coming up and saying like something to me. It's like usually in like a really quiet moment. You're like in a coffee shop in a line, and somebody says, "Hey, Gov, thanks for your service," or "Your office helped me with this. I appreciate who you do," in a real quiet moment. And that's when you really start to realize that people recognize who you are, they recognize the work that you're doing, and that you're contributing. I think, particularly in this moment, people are disenchanted with politics. They're disenchanted with politicians. They question whether the system can work for them and their families. And so the people who are making that system work stand out more and more. And so I think the elected officials who are serving, who are showing up when it's not always easy to show up, who are trying to make a difference in their communities are the ones that are really standing out because in this moment we're required to do more.